Could you tell us about yourself, please, Lauren? Ladies first, always.
Yeah, of course. So I've worked at QE for 17 years. Joe and I actually started QE together. So we've been here a long time. We've held a variety of roles here during that time. But most excitingly now, I'm currently head of the senior schools and also started my background here as teacher of English. So I've got that teaching background and also obviously now work my way through the school roles to now head up the QE Senior School.
Joe?
Thank you. In terms of my background, I trained as a sports teacher, so I joined QE as a sports teacher, teaching across the sports. Then I moved into behaviour management, so looking at that side of school, making sure everyone's toeing the line, making good choices. And then for the past 3 years, I've been head of the middle school and looking after our prep school experience.
For me, I think QE is a school that can fit around the student. And I think really that is the most important thing that we do. It's a school that we have a varied curriculum, so we can make sure they're on the right subject choices. We've got a great pastoral care, so we can support students as they go through their school life. If they join us early, we know them all the way through, which then makes when you're applying to universities so much easier because we can write references that really know them. So it's a family feel, but it's a school that also asks for academic excellence, and I think that combination is quite unique. The fact that you can feel like more than just a pupil, you feel like you belong, but also always striving for that academic achievement, whatever their ability, we'll try and get the best out of them. Our mantra is to be the best that you can be with the gifts that you have. And I think that sums us up really. We all strive for it as staff. We try to embed it into our lessons. We try and get the students to do it, not just in their academic life, but in their super curricular life. So they have got not just coming out with great results, but also hopefully, fingers crossed, with great people and people who are really confident in themselves, happy to go out into the world of work and actually present themselves in a positive way. You look at them in business suits in the sixth form, they're well trained to be in professional environments. And I think that combination really for me is what makes QE so special. So really for me, a home from home that allows a student to be themselves, to celebrate what they're good at, a talent or an academic subject, and we will shape our curriculum around whatever that individual needs.
Yeah, so in terms of our boarding, we're quite unique in terms of what we offer. In terms of the facilities, they're all purpose-built. So as opposed to some schools in the UK, they might turn a building into a boarding house. The only historical building is the one that you're sat in right now. Everything else on our campus is purpose-built, so it's there for the role it's serving. So all our boarding, again, purpose-built. Every boarding room is ensuite bathroom, ensuite shower. When you get into the senior school, you get your own kitchen, your own sofa, and typically it's shared accommodation. We're fortunate enough that over the past 12 months we've renovated some of our existing boarding houses and we've brought them back online, so we've got the capacity currently to offer single room accommodation. Again, we do prefer student share. It gives great connection, it builds that friendship, it builds that ability to share that space with another student and share the journey. But if some students do really want to focus in on their individual experience, they do want that individual living experience, then that is something we can offer currently. I do sort of hammer that home, it is currently, depending on how we move forward as a school, but it's definitely something that we offer for now, and it's been really well received. It's about finding the right roommates, the right connections, the right matchups in terms of the habits, the routines, their work-life balances, and that's down to us. There's a lot of onus on us as staff in school, but also the boarding staff. Our boarding team are bespoke, so our boarding team don't teach in school. There's supportive activities, but in the school day, they're resting, they're in-house, they're preparing the house to receive the students. So we're quite fortunate in the fact that we've got a bespoke team of staff that can really facilitate the right matchups to make sure you have a roommate that fits.
I'm quite surprised by that because especially in the senior school, they've got quite a lot of flexibility for change. So if they're confident to talk out, or if someone on their behalf is confident to talk out, we can actually look at those rooming arrangements. And on the whole, I can't say every single time, but usually there's flexibility to move them into different rooms with different people. Because at October half term, they usually select their roommates anyway.
So they can change them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we only actually...
I'll just stay with this one and that one.
Exactly.
You give three.
Yeah.
Say you build your friendships, you might say, right, in the next couple of weeks, they'll be asking students, okay, you're new to school, give us a selection of friends that you think you might want to share a room with. And it's down to the bespoke staff to work out logistics of that to make sure you get at least one of your choices. Try it for another half term, like Lauren said.
Yeah.
and then you can choose again. You can move again or you can stick. It's entirely up to you.
So really, they should have the choice, especially only the first half term. We have students who obviously maybe it is a mismatch because when we get so many new students, we place them for the first half term. After that, really, they have a lot more control, especially at my end and the seniors, I think. They've got a lot more control over who they room with. And you'd hope that they would select people who do have similar interests. You know, we've got a lot, for example, just this week, we've had a basketball student who gets up for training. We offer training from 6 a.m. So he's up and out the house at 6 a.m. to the gym for his training, and therefore needs to complete his prep as soon as he comes in. So he's got a very, very fixed routine to achieve his own goals. Highly academic, straight 7, 8 and 9s, plus this, he's just been selected for Team GB basketball. So he's got these two things to balance. He's currently said, it's not really working with my roommates. I'm waking them up at 6. They want to stay up later. So what we've said to him is that's absolutely fine. Can you manage for another couple of weeks? We'll support you, and then let's get you moved and with someone who matches you. So we've tasked him with finding someone on his schedule, his routine, that's happy to support him so that we can get him in the right move. We're not just instantaneously saying we can fix it, because that's unrealistic too. You have to find the right person, otherwise you're just going to give the same solution. So we do try and work with individual students to correct situations like that, and there should be no reason really why, given a little bit of time, we can't correct those situations.
And that's why having the staff that are bespoke to boarding, they've got the time in their day to sort those problems, find the solutions. You know, they're not busy in school teaching, they're busy preparing the boarding environment, so we've got the staff, so any situation like that, bit of time, we can fix.
I think there is something very, very unique in the British education system in terms of the preparation for life beyond school. So I think because our curriculum is so varied, because you have got a choice of A-levels, BTECs, whatever it might be, you can actually shape a curriculum to suit your needs. And I think that variation is something that's relatively unique. It's also an education system that celebrates other successes. So whereas some education systems are very focused on those results and it's very much about the results, actually, when you come to the British education system, here or elsewhere, you get celebrated for talents that you might have, you're celebrated for leadership qualities. There's so many different things that you can add to your experience as a student that I think it helps to build an all-round profile. And I think it's well respected in other countries. I help so many students with their UCAS for universities in the UK, but also international universities as well. You know, we place students all over Europe. We've got Australia, Hong Kong, America, you know, it's all over really. Every year it changes slightly, and every year what we're writing in the personal statements, what we're writing in our references, really does showcase that our system here not only allows for the academic results to stand out, but a student with other study skills or other ways of working can also excel.
Glad you said
and
that.
I think that's really important, because obviously the A-levels are very traditional, work, revise, exam. BTECs, it's more about having the skill set to self-manage. It's about having the ability to be able to meet deadlines, to apply those skill sets to real life scenarios, to work with case studies. So you really can take whatever skill set you have and succeed. And I think that's key to what makes the British education different.
I was just going to say that's the way it's built from the middle school up. So the academic director, our curriculum is built on skills, developing skills, obviously knowledge to implement the skills, but overall it's skill based. That's our approach, that's our angle into learning, and that feeds up to the senior school. So very much skill based. Well, in terms of us as a school, we're really established internationally, so our systems here to invite and welcome international students are strong. You know, initially we've got our liaison officers that will connect with students and families to make sure they feel safe and supported, but then beyond that, in terms of English language, we've got a vast department, a big department of staff. And the main sort of message to your potential families and students is the fact that English, really for us in the middle school, there's no barrier. You know, we can provide the relevant support to any student. We can tailor that support. As they move through the middle school, we prepare them. The year 9 entry point is fantastic year to join. You can get your grounding in the environment, with the system, with the learning style, build your English up, and it's relevant to each student, whether it's 2 lessons a week or 10 lessons a week. It's really bespoke. They're group lessons, individual lessons, and as we move forwards into Lauren's senior school, there's foundation programs at year 10, foundation programs before year 12, so again there can be a year's worth of learning, developing the English skill set so it can match up to the academic potential. So again, there's lots of different entry points so we can welcome non-English speaking students to our school.
The English support programmes are really interesting in the senior school because they actually provide a springboard into the academia. So there tends to be on those courses students who are academically able and English is the barrier. And they do a year really trying to remove that barrier to allow us then to excel with them in the other subject areas. If they dedicate that time, usually over a year, on one of our intensive English, so we offer those as a preparation year before each either GCSE or A-level. If they come in and do that, we can bespoke that course to their English proficiency level. So if they are weaker in their English significantly, they can have a predominantly EAL timetable, but also trial some of the subjects that they want to do later on. So they might have a few lessons in business, a few lessons in maths, whatever it might be can be in there, so they're experiencing the English for academic purposes as well as the English, basic English proficiency to be able to cope in the environment. And I think we can build that up depending on what they want to do. So some students on the intensive English programmes we offer have predominantly EAL with some tasters in some other subjects. Other students might be completing GCSEs in maths and science and their English proficiency. So actually, it can be anything from wanting to do some qualifications, but actually mainly focusing on your English, to wanting to do all English and wait for the qualifications for the following year. So it can really be tailored to every individual learner and their needs, rather than it just being a regular English proficiency.
It's not a one size. It's not a one size fits all. Definitely.
No, it's really not, and I think that's key, because actually you can have students who want to be on the course for the same purpose of attaining better grades later on, but that hurdle of the English can be more significant or less significant, and having the course that just fits the same, it's not going to work if English is the barrier. It's got to be a lot more prepared for each individual than that. So that's what we try and offer for the English side.
Do you offer EL, GCSE for English additional language?
Yes, so everything on those intensive English courses is actual EAL specific teaching. They also work on, we've got a variety of different English qualifications as well, from the FCE all the way through to just training for IELTS. We've got English as an additional language in there as well as an actual qualification. So or they could do the IGCSE and just do a first language and train towards that if they are more proficient but not overly confident at that point. So there really is a whole raft of things that we can do for each individual to recognise their bespoke level of English.
And even lower down myself, I've got English for maths, English for science, so very much specific to the content, the vocab that they will learn when they move into year 10. So again, so it's even more focused in on certain deficiencies. So again, yeah, bespoke is definitely the word to take away. For me in the middle school, yeah, it's modern languages, yeah, so Spanish, German and French. We do some Cantonese after school, some Mandarin after school as well as an extra. But again, we're really flexible with that in the senior school, aren't we, Lauren?
Yeah, exactly the same in the senior school. Modern foreign languages are there, but we also ask our students to sit a GCSE and an A-level in their native languages as well, just to get them those extra few UCAS points, an extra little advantage that we try and make sure that they do. So we try and encourage them to sit those as well. So not only are they doing the modern foreign languages if they want to, they're also sitting an examination in their native languages as well.
Do you offer Turkish GCSE?
We certainly do.
Oh.
I was hoping that question had come.
You got 40 students, that's right. A lot, so enough for the one class.
It's been a really good year actually. I've welcomed 18 new Turkish families in the senior school this September.
18.
18, yeah, brand new ones as well as the ones we had. But I thought that was really positive.